Private, Book 1 in the Private series by James Patterson and Maxine Paetro, published in 2010. This is a non-spoiler review, so I will keep details as vague as possible. The book is about Jack Morgan, who is the head of Private, a famous PI company. It bounces between several cases that he's investigating, and it takes occasional breaks to explore his personal life and relationships. One thing I can say about this novel is that it's less predictable than I expected. The relationships between the characters, they're messy. There's a realism to them. Family members, they fight. Couples have their issues. Things don't always make sense in the moment. And that's about all the positives I can think of. I'm not saying the rest is terrible exactly, but nothing else stands out as being especially good. The story covers too many cases, and the most interesting one is mostly investigated by side characters. That's a big problem with Private. It bites off way more than it has any intention of tackling, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of reason for it. Wonder why Jack has difficulty opening up to people, or why his brother hates him? That's too bad. I'm sure it's all set up for the sequels, but this kind of thing, it just annoys me. Basically, nothing I learned about Jack told me anything new about him. It's just random information. Why bother including any of it? And speaking of Jack, he's genuinely got everything. He's rich, good-looking, well-known in Hollywood, athletic, generous, and smart. At least from what we were told. His only real flaw is, as previously mentioned, he's not the sharing type. Totally realistic. A similar thing could be said about their caseload. Basically all of their cases are national newsworthy, and they're tackled simultaneously. A string of schoolgirl killings, a potential NFL scandal, the murder of his best friend's wife. Furthermore, nearly everything connects back to Jack on a personal level. Between his dead dad, his uncle, his twin brother, and his former girlfriends. It's pretty weird actually. Even the schoolgirl killings are tied to him through a former fling. Something else that bothered me here, and in quite a few books, is how little is resolved through legal means. They resort to brutality and threats. I thought Private was this renowned investigation company. How have they not been shut down yet? Heck, I'm surprised someone hasn't ordered a hit on Jack or one of his employees. They make a lot of enemies, and there's rarely a reason for it. They seem more like thugs than professionals, skating by on a lot of luck. Then we have the relationships between the various characters. They're too ill-defined. Sure, it makes it easier to throw in surprises, but I never quite had a handle on them. The animosity between Jack and his brother, his issues with Colleen, I wanted some real answers here. But not the kind of answers I got from the schoolgirl murders. It's a creative enough idea, what they come up with, but I felt like the authors got lost with their explanations and kind of gave up trying to make sense of things. In conclusion, Private is not worth reading. It has few redeeming qualities. I didn't hate the book, but I can't remember the last time I read something and found almost nothing positive to say about it. I'm giving this 2 out of 5 stars. This is a jumbled, underdeveloped mess that doesn't feel like it goes anywhere. I learned a lot and nothing about Jack. I didn't like the way his relationships played out. And I hated his brother. There isn't time set aside to develop the villains, and they're not interesting. Almost gave this 3 stars because it's not painfully bad. Patterson's books always seem to fall into that okay realm for me, but there's nothing here that pops. I didn't feel like any effort was put into it. Anyway, that's all I've got. If you like this review, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thanks for listening. Peace.